guys, it's Violet here with Bird People. Today I want to talk a little bit about bird safety and some toys that I actually have in my cage that I pulled out that I'm going to either modify or not have in my bird's cage anymore. You should always be checking your toys and rotating things out and making sure that they are safe for them. Let's just go ahead and go through some of this stuff and talk about it. Ropes and rope toys, rope perches, things like this that you have in your cage. I think you just need to be really careful about watching them and making sure that the threads and things like that don't fray. Because what can happen is if you have a bird who maybe has a larger beak or they just like to chew a lot, they start chewing on it, they get little cotton threads that come out, they can get their feet stuck in them, they can get leg bands stuck on them. You don't want to end up with your bird getting caught in some kind of strings like this that are hanging down. This is actually really dangerous, more than just if they chew on that. So you want to kind of look out for this stuff and try to avoid things like that. I'm going to modify this swing to make it safer for the cage by just cutting these ropes shorter here at the bottom and then keep an eye on them. Here's another example of a toy that has cotton ropes here on the end. So what you can do going through your cage is even take things like this and just take some scissors and kind of keep an eye on them. If the ends get kind of long and frayed, just do a little clip. Here's another example of a toy with some cotton rope stuff. My birds actually don't like this and I'm kind of glad. Another thing I noticed on this toy that should be watched out for is any kind of like open rings, whether it's an open ring on a toy like this that's hanging off of something and it has a little split here that they could get caught in, or a leg band. Leg bands can be really dangerous and you want to think about that when you're looking at stuff in your cage and just the leg band in general. I have actually personally had a problem with this toy. Melody actually managed to get her head through one of these little rings one day and stuck in it. I immediately rescued her from that, and I no longer have any of these kind of rings or toys in the cage, or even anything that's that size. The size of your bird is definitely a consideration. If you have a conure or something larger, this kind of toy might be totally appropriate. But for my parrotlets, it's not. Another issue that can come to with size and the size of your bird's beak can be little acrylic toys like this can become dangerous. My birds are pretty small, so if they're playing with something like this or these little ring type things, they're really not going to be able to chew it or break it apart. They just don't. If you have a larger bird with bigger beak and they're chewing on it and it breaks, the handle can break off, it could be sharp, they could get caught on it, they could ingest a tiny little piece of something. So watch out for all that kind of little acrylic stuff like this. Next, along the line of this little toy that we were talking about is also these kind of like made of the same thing, these little balls. Sometimes they're stuffed with paper. So do you see this one, how it's kind of starting to come apart here like this? When they start to come apart like that, I just think that it's a risk of them being tangled in it. Because look at all these little places that their feet can get trapped, there's ends here, they can get caught. I'm just not a big fan of that, so watch out for these. I kind of had a feeling about this myself actually when I bought this toy, because I noticed this little shoe here. When Melody got a hold of it and she really liked it, but she started chewing on it, the sole on the bottom of the shoe starts to come off. There's all these little parts here like this that are held on, and this is glued. I don't want my birds chewing on any kind of glue. I don't know about you. Here's another example of a little toy that I just picked up at kind of like a bird fair. It was in sort of like a little bird foraging basket. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it was made or what kind of plastic or rubber it's made out, or if it's going to be toxic if they chew on it. I highly doubt that this is some kind of bird toy or intended as a bird safe special toy. It was probably just a fun thing that was thrown in the foraging basket. I'm not going to let my birds play with this because I have no idea if it's safe or not. So that's a no-go. Bells can also have, again, depending on the size of the bird, these little clappers that are on the inside. They could easily, if you have a big enough bird with a strong enough beak, pull that little clapper out and swallow it, or who knows what could happen. You want to watch out for that. There's also bells that have kind of like the little slits in them. Totally not intended for birds at all. Think about those little slits, and they could get a toe caught or something like that in it. No good. So that's it. I hope that you liked this video and you found it informative on checking for things that are in your bird's cage that might be dangerous to them. Maybe it'll give you some ideas and some other things to look out for. So, say hi, Melody. Oh, she's a little stinker. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get all of our videos. And until next time, we hope you and your birds will all be safe and happy. Thanks for watching. Sorry, Melody.